people the stories about Morgan and kind of I don't know how she's helped you and what you think. And I mean, what's your opinion on Morgan and kind of what she means to Villa Bonita and what she means to you personally and how she's helped you?
The residents would benefit from this dog because I've noticed a lot of them, not a lot, but I've noticed people here who aren't able to express themselves in their personal needs. And you'll see sometimes they'll be sitting like this in the lobby. And sometimes it might be pain, sometimes maybe they're just tired. And that's what times I've noticed her, she'll go up beside somebody and just stand there, or sometimes she'll sit, but mostly she'll just stand close to them. And if they go to touch her, sometimes she'll let them and sometimes she'll walk away. But the fact of them just touching her, that look on their face changes. And she kills me, this stuff. She means to me because I think there's a term, anthropomorphic, or some people say we shouldn't give human feelings to animals. Well, maybe not quite in the same way, but they have feelings, and they do show that they understand, because for the time that I was in a lot of pain, she would appear 2 or 3 times, and most of the time my door was open, but if she wasn't, I'd hear thump thump, and she would come in and she'd just sit and look at me, and then she'd got this lopsided grin on her face, and I'd start to talk to her, and I knew she understood what I was saying. And I think the Lord sent her because He knows what the traits she has. And then she would turn her head this way and kind of was almost, she's going, she wasn't, but you know, that kind of thing. I'm a good. And I'm talking to her, and she'd put her head in my hand, and I would feel much calmer, and I really didn't hurt as much because my pain level was over 10. She didn't leave here that day until she was sure I was all right. It's a wonder she didn't come out downstairs and need drying off, because I had shed a lot of tears on her.
Yeah.
And she didn't back away.
Yeah.
She stayed right there.
She knew you needed her.
I needed her.
No.
And I think she's an attribute to this place. And someone had said to me, you should write to, they didn't know who, and tell them about her, and that they, if they ever thought of not saying animals can't be here, let the animals be here.
One of the things that you had mentioned when you first moved here, that you had said that your pain, you said earlier there was a 10, you know, that, and that you had tried medicine and tried all these different things, but it was only when Morgan came around that your pain really went away.
Started to eat. Well, it's not gone away.
Not away,
but it's eased up, and my tolerations now. I just have the pain patches. I'm off the narcotic, which I wanted to get off because, you know, they are so addictive.
Right, of course.
And I still have them if I should need them, but I'm determined I'm going to make it without them. And when just talking to her in the day, and she comes in, because when you get up in the morning you're sore and uncomfortable.
Right.
And walking it off, and she comes in sometimes with Truman, sometimes by herself. And after she's been around, I seem to loosen up, you know. But I think she could be a help to a lot of people, and I know probably there's people here who don't like animals, maybe haven't grown up around them, but I think they should give her a chance.
Absolutely.
Because she would not knowingly hurt anybody. She has a gentle spirit. Well, I'm glad that I hope if people feel free to tell people what a comfort she can be if they'll let her, because she'll be insistent anyway. I think if she knows someone's in need, she'll persist.
Yeah, she knows who needs her. And did I ever tell you the story about there was one of our residents that lived in our memory care part of our building, and she was from Kansas. And she had this huge ranch, hundreds of horses. And you know, she eventually moved out here to be closer to her daughter, and at one phase in her dementia process, she started hallucinating, and she started seeing things. And one of the things that she would hallucinate and see was people actually killing her horses.
Oh.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was awful. And she would say, "They're killing my horses, they're killing my horses." And there was nothing we could do. I'd be, "Mary, no, they're not killing your horses." Nothing we could do would stop her from thinking that someone was killing her horses, or seeing that someone was killing her horses. Tears just coming down her face. And we called her doctor, we called her family, we tried different medication to, we tried all kinds of, nothing worked. She was still hallucinating and seeing that people were killing her horses. So one day she was having one of these hallucinations, and "They're killing my horses, they're killing my horses." And I happened to be down the hall with Morgan. And Morgan and I came around the corner, and she was yelling at the top, "They're killing my horses, they're killing my horses." And as soon as Morgan and I turned the corner, she stopped and she goes, "Look at the doggy." And immediately stopped thinking that people were killing her horses, looked at Morgan, and started petting Morgan. It was fine. So I told the staff, I said, "I don't care if I'm on the phone with the president." I said, "If Mary ever has one of these hallucinations," I said, "you call, and Morgan and I will come down immediately." And we did. Maybe they happened 2 or 3 more times, and the staff would call me right away. I'd grab Morgan, we'd run down, we'd sit with Mary, she would pet Morgan, she would forget about the horses, and probably 2 or 3 more times, and then they finally just stopped and went away. But I mean, it was Morgan that did it. It wasn't any medicine or any of us telling her, that they weren't killing her horses. It was Morgan.
Okay.